If you can't get beyond your body, and your attention is on your body, then you're matter trying to change matter. If you're thinking about your cell phone and your partner or your kids, or none of these are bad, but if you can't get beyond them, they own you. If you're thinking about how much time it's going to take or how much time the meditation is going, you haven't dissociated from the very world of three-dimensional reality to create something differently with. So that process of overcoming ourselves, that process of overcoming is the process of becoming. As an example, people stand on the stage, and they tell their testimonials, their stories at our events, whether it's stage 4 cancer, blindness, deafness, MS, lupus, we've seen just about everything. Parkinson's. So many people say, I really believed that this information or that you could actually create a better life for yourself or you could heal yourself. I always believed that it was true, and I saw the testimonials of other people. I've read the information. I saw the scientific research. I just never believed it could happen to me or that I could do it. Now, this is a big moment. This is the moment you come out of the bleachers and you get on the playing field, because in order for that person to prove that their mind can affect their body, they would have to show up every day and do the work. If they don't show up, then they don't believe it's possible. They do show up every day. They do believe it's possible. And you keep showing up every day after a period of time, you start feeling worthy to receive it. And the universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving. So it's the overcoming process that is the becoming process. People who are sick in this work, I can guarantee you with stage 4 cancer that has metastasized to every organ, every tissue, every bone in their body, and they've gotten the diagnosis and the prognosis, I'm sure there were days where they felt fear. And they had to make one of two choices, to either do the work or surrender to fear. And they showed up that day, and they overcame their fear a little bit more and surrendered to love. That's a victory. There were days where I'm certain they didn't feel good. They didn't feel physically good, and I know that it was probably hard for them to think greater than how they felt. They couldn't do that if they were still their body. They would have to get beyond their body in order to change, and they showed up that day and they overcame their body a little bit more. And I'm sure there were days where they had self-doubt. In fact, many of them, their disease got worse before it got better, and they could have easily listened to their family and to the voice in their head that said it's not working. But they showed up anyway, and they did the work, and they overcame their doubt that day. And I know there were days where they thought they didn't have enough time because they had children and work and all kinds of obligations.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.
But they made time. And it was the overcoming that actually created the becoming. And so they weren't visualizing anything. They weren't affirming anything. They were changing. Now, many of them would have a great meditation, get up feeling wonderful, feeling like connected to the emotions of their future, and their sleeping patterns got better, they've had more energy, their pain diminished, but their blood values and their scans were still the same. They didn't say, oh, well, I kind of got a little bit better, but this doesn't work. That would be the old self, returning back to the old personality. They were more concerned about what they still had to change about themselves in order for their health to change. So they realized that many of them, 1 hour of meditation and feeling wonderful, and then spending 15 hours of your remaining day reacting and responding to everyone and everything in your life and believing those thoughts that are just hardwired programs in the brain and acting and behaving like the old self. Genes aren't going to change that way. So all of a sudden now it became practical. I got to get so good at doing this with my eyes closed. I got to do it with my eyes open. Now, this is the big game, because you got to be able to self-regulate. And so what became very practical to them is, now I'm going to rehearse how I'm going to be on the Zoom call. Now I'm going to rehearse how I'm going to be with my children, how I'm going to be with my ex. I'm going to monitor my responses. There's got to be a better way to be. Now the game becomes very real, right? Mm-hmm. And then they review at the end of the day, when did I fall from grace? When did I lose it? When did I go unconscious? Tomorrow's another lifetime. Right. I didn't fail. I just went unconscious. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to just work on that one thing. So now they're really working on the process of transformation. It's no longer about their health condition. They're not focused on their health condition. They're focused on change, right? And nothing changes in our life until we change. So when you hear those stories, and the person has to really overcome their belief that this could work for everybody else, they just never believed it could work for me. When they get really super aware that the game is about change, and they got to get really good at doing it with their eyes open, and they have to monitor their responses to everyone and everything in their life, because if they don't, their response is actually weakening the organism. They got to catch their thoughts, because that thought that they let slip by could actually knock their brain and body out of homeostasis and turn on the stress response. So now the game changes now, and it takes an enormous amount of energy, and it takes an enormous amount of awareness. And it's not easy, and if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But you ask that person who stands on the stage, that's the 4-minute mile, about their disease. They'll tell you two things. My disease was my greatest teacher. They'll tell you that. And you'll ask them, where's the disease now? Where is it? They'll say, it's in the old person. I'm somebody else. They didn't visualize anything. They didn't affirm anything. They just kept practicing overcoming, and it's the overcoming process that actually affects the becoming process. Okay.